The investigation into Nolan Wells' mysterious death continues to raise serious questions as the FBI has now joined local authorities in examining what happened on Mississippi's Horn Island. While the Jackson County Sheriff's Office says investigators are following the evidence and not online rumors, Nolan's family believes many important questions still remain unanswered.
Pedro, Tanya, Sam, good to see you from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. It is now 10 days since 18-year-old Nolan Wells was last seen alive here. And the mystery surrounding his death is really putting pressure on the authorities. It's fueling speculation and mistrust. We talked to the sheriff. He says he wants to be thorough, not fast.
I think it's important that we don't put ourselves on a timetable and that we don't rush ourselves. But I do think it's important to be diligent in gathering all the facts. That's what the family deserves. Even if you may think that it might be insignificant, every little bit helps. And that may be a bigger contribution than you think to this case.
Could be a public tip that breaks it open for you.
Exactly. Of course, the rumors are out there, but we don't respond to rumors. We respond to facts.
According to investigators, witnesses have been interviewed and multiple agencies are now assisting with the case. However, several details continue to concern both Nolan's family and many people following the investigation.
A close friend of Wells, Trayston Shepard, says the group spent the day swimming and drinking.
Well, we were just having fun all day, and then as the day went on, people started to drink more and people started to get more drunk.
His father has said it was completely out of character for Nolan to stay behind while his friends left the island, especially without taking his phone.
I preach that same thing to my kids. If you go somewhere with someone, you come back with them, no matter what. Don't let a girl separate you from your safety net. It's plenty of girls. So for them to come back and that'd be the first thing that come out their mouth, like when they said that, they automatically just turned me off, but it turned on a question like, I know he wouldn't do that.
So I'm going to be honest, we have not heard from our local authorities since last Tuesday. We received a phone call, basically really no updates, and that was it. We've heard from no one else.
Conflicting accounts about the last time Nolan was seen have also fueled public skepticism. Although officials have stated there were no immediate signs of physical injury, the final autopsy and toxicology results have not yet been released.
Some investigations can take years. People go missing, and investigations, if they're thorough, dig for the facts. We want them to turn over every rock. We want them to review every piece of video. We want them to speak to every witness. The Wansley family, Nolan's family, has the best civil rights attorney in the world, and their team is independently investigating and turning over every rock. I mean, this family has a benefit that the thousands of children and adults who die by drowning every year do not have, who are missing persons, who are trafficked, who are killed, unanswered crimes and murders. They have the benefit of Ben Crump law and everyone who is attached to that very experienced firm. So I frankly have a different take in that I know that this case is one where it is much more likely that we will get the answers than any of the others, the people who I feel sorry for, who have family members to die. Young Black girls go missing, trafficked, turn up dead years later, and ain't nobody looking for them nowhere. Like, as we speak, it's happening. We have class actions behind police officers doing this to young girls, poor communities, Black, white, brown. And so I don't know what kind of terrible tragedy this Nolan Wells death was at this point. I see people pushing videos that are not substantiated, that don't tell us when they occurred or what context or who the people in them are. And so I haven't been spreading that kind of misinformation, because we all care about misinformation until we're the ones pushing it.
Well, something in the milk definitely ain't clean. Why does it take 15 minutes to retrieve a phone? Why do you have somebody's phone? Why? There's so many unanswered questions, and unfortunately, there's so much disinformation, AI, and stuff on the internet that it's really hard to even parse what's true and what's not true. So I'm glad that Nolan Wells' family and friends are taking to the national media and answering questions so that we don't have to rely on shady Instagram posts because we need to know what happened. None of it makes sense. It's clear that he wasn't stranded on the island like Gilligan's Island somewhere. So what happened in the days between he was missing and when he was found? That is incredibly important information. I don't even want to repeat the kinds of things I've heard online because they haven't been verified. But if it's possible that he left the island and, was sent back to or put back on the island, that is something that needs to be thoroughly investigated. And unfortunately, they're circling the wagons around each other. They've clammed up, and it's going to make it that much harder to get answers. And we see in many cases like this where we never do find out what happened. That Nolan was also with Black friends that day.
Yeah,
we just heard the reporting from Christine Wells' mother.
And the ones who are speaking of this Black friend.
Right, exactly. So, I understand that we have to have the larger conversation about, safety and, you ain't one of them. You can't do the stuff that they can get away with. However, there's some people that have this notion that he was just frat broing it up out there. Right. And he, sometimes people seem to have this attitude that to hang out with white people means that you are shunning your Black side, when we saw and we know from all accounts that it was a diverse crowd. He was actually intending to go out on a boat with his Black friend. And so I think that there's definitely merit to having that conversation. My fear is that that conversation kind of obscures what actually happened, and it obscures the fact that regardless of what the racial demographic of your group is, you deserve to get home alive. You deserve to be able, and everybody of every race should be able to go out with friends and, oh gosh, I lost my cell phone, but you make it home. Oh gosh, I don't know how, there's no room on this boat, but there's another boat. It was a crowded beach that he was on. He was known by many people on the beach, and yet he disappeared for days and turned up dead. And I think that ultimately, outside of the racial dynamics of it, we have to still get to the heart of the fact that a young boy, a young Black kid, a promising child who was heading off to college, was a star football player, did not have the most basic thing that we expect for our children to be able to have, which is be able to go out and come back home. That I feel like needs to be centered above and beyond everything else.
The family has also expressed concern about the limited communication they have received from local authorities throughout the investigation. With the FBI now involved, many hope every piece of evidence will be carefully examined and that the investigation will provide clear, transparent answers. For Nolan's family and the wider Black community, this case is about more than unanswered questions. It's about ensuring that every life receives the justice, accountability, and truth it deserves.